Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome back. Today is Sunday, December 12th, 2021. I am Samantha, your host, and as always, we have a great lineup of segments to share with you. Starting this week, right off on the right note, we have the question of the week presented by Wesley. Following the question of the week, we have another performance by Christopher.
So I was pretty satisfied with my Spotify Wrapped because I was in the top 0.01% of listeners to Kanye West, and he's my favorite artist. So I think that's pretty cool also. Plus, on top of that, how are you not going to be satisfied with your Spotify Wrapped? You literally listen to the music. It is all you. It's legitimately just data that you listen to. If you don't like it, you literally just do not like yourself and your music taste.
I'm pretty pleased with my Spotify Wrapped this year. Considering all 5 of my top songs were by the same artist, and I was in 0.5% top listeners of that artist. I'm not gonna say who.
I didn't really have Spotify for too long, so my Spotify Wrapped wasn't really accurate.
I was pretty surprised by some of the songs because most of them I listened to at the beginning of the year, but I'm not upset because they're the songs that I listen to, so it's pretty much just up to me. So I'm pretty content with it. It was a little bit surprising, but it's fine.
I thought my Spotify Wrapped was pretty accurate, but there's some things that were questionable. One of my most listened to artists was Eminem, and I don't listen to Eminem, so that was a bit odd. The rest of it was pretty accurate though. I listened for a lot of minutes, so. And my top genre was smooth jazz, which makes sense because I fall asleep to smooth jazz music.
Okay, I think mine was accurate because my first one was Taylor Swift. So.
Yes, I think my Apple Music replay was accurate, and yeah.
I am jazzed about my Spotify Wrapped. I was 0.05% top listener for MF Doom, and I really like all my top artists, so it's it makes sense to me obviously because it's the music that I listen to, but it's also I thought that the actual way they put it out was kind of lame, all the TikTok yes, I like my Spotify Wrapped.
Okay, so I am not happy with my Spotify Rewrapped. I like most of them, but my top artist is Drake, and that's humiliating. And then my second top songs, my first top song was by too. But the rest of them were really good, and it makes sense. But I think it's rigged. That's not the right word. I don't think that it's real. So no comment.
The thrill of the basketball season is back. The girls basketball team had their opening night this past Friday. All tickets for the 2021 to 2022 girls and boys basketball season will be sold online only. Adults are $5, seniors 65 and older are $3, and all students are $3 as well. Head to the website gofan.co or check your email for a direct link from the school. No tickets will be available at the door, so make sure to buy ahead of time. Next up, we have Adventures of the Little Guy, brought to you by Clementine and Quimby. Sarah follows with Fairy Tales of Old this week on A Russian Tale. Then, Ty finishes us off with the Student Profile of the Week.
Hello, and welcome to Fairy Tales of Old, where every week we discuss and introduce an old fairy tale that's not as well known, and review it as well as provide possible facts. Last week, we reviewed the Indian tale, The Blue Jackal, the story about a jackal who dyes himself in blue ink and soon takes over the entire forest to eventually be overthrown by the betrayed animals within. Now then, let's get into the story. This week, we'll be reviewing A Russian Tale, written by Alexander Pushkin in 1831. This story is known by the title, The Tale of Tsar Sultan. In the beginning of our story, we are introduced to 3 daughters. The Tsar, having heard it is her dearest wish to present him with a suitable son and heir, marries the youngest daughter of the 3. Soon after the marriage, the Tsarista has her firstborn son for the Tsar, making him very happy. The other two sisters of the Tsarista and their old aunt Barbaricha soon grew jealous and created a plan to rid of her by using pure trickery. They managed to arrange the Tsarista and her son Gvidon to be thrown into the sea. The plan persists, and they are sealed into a barrel and thrown out into the cold blue water left to drown. The sea, however, takes pity upon the two and moves them through the water quickly and lands them upon a remote, enchanted island known as Boyan. Whilst in the barrel, the son grew quickly, enough to think for himself and have necessary survival skills. When they emerge from the barrel, he immediately sets off to go hunting. While hunting, he finds an enchanted swan and saves it from the clutches of an evil wizard. As thanks, the swan creates a city for Prince Gvidon to rule. He settles in shortly, but finds himself eventually feeling homesick for his old palace. The swan, following his wishes, turns him into a mosquito to help him. He travels across the water back to his old land, into the Tsar Sultan's court. Within is his very own aunt who betrayed him and his mother. He stings her in the eye as revenge and escapes once more back to the land of Boyan. When he returns, the swan transforms Gvidon into his original form and gives him a magical squirrel to keep him company. Gvidon, still unhappy with his situation away from home, pines a lot for the sake of his mother and father. The swan gives him 2 more miracles, turning him into a fly and a bumblebee. Each time he stings the other aunt in the eye and his grandmother on the nose. When he finally returns back to the land of Boyan for the last time, he gives up his attempts to return home and instead expresses his desire for a bride. The swan, happy to assist, reveals herself to be a beautiful princess to whom he soon marries. The Tsar Sultan hears from across the great ocean of a prince and a beautiful princess to soon be married, and he sets off to find the island. As he arrives on the island, he is overjoyed to learn that this news is about his very own son and newly married daughter-in-law, and at last the family is reunited. This is quite an interesting story with the way it's designed. There are a few plot devices that I could do without, but in the end it's all built rather creatively, and I love the way that they drew the characters for some of them. I hope you enjoyed this week's story, and I'll see you next time on Fairy Tales of Old.
Colin Kinney is a junior student who attends Monument Mountain Regional High School. In school, Colin is a tri-varsity athlete, meaning he plays 3 sports on varsity. Colin plays soccer for one, where he is a speedy midfielder. He also runs track and is a wrestling champion. Colin also really enjoys engineering class in school. Outside of school, Colin really enjoys playing video games, hanging out with his friends, and even works at a golf course to make some money. As far as interests go, Colin is really interested in engineering and hopes to pursue that more into the future. Additionally, as aforementioned, Colin is interested in video gaming and does that often in his free time. As far as the future goes for Colin, the young junior states that he is not yet sure what he wants to do, as he is still only a junior and he has time to decide. Although he states that college is definitely an option, although it might also not be an option. Time shall tell.
Don't forget, this Wednesday is going to be a half day of school for students due to professional development. For the news portion of our show, we have our current events segment with Julia, which will be followed by Caden with the national sports news. After the great success of The Tempest, there is now online viewing available. Head to ctsbtv.org to easily view clips or to purchase the performance. Next up, we have Carmen, Heidi, and Adriana bringing us their segment on Kobe Bryant, which is followed by Wilbur and Pedro's segment, giving us an insight into the art world.
Kobe Bryant fue un basquetbolista estadounidense que jugaba en la posición de escolta. Kobe Bryant nació el 23 de agosto de 1978. Ganó 5 campeonatos de la NBA con los Lakers y 2 medallas de oro olímpicas de la selección estadounidense. 11 de ellas en el primer quinteto, 12 veces miembro de los mejores quintetos defensivos, MVP de la temporada en el 2008, MVP de las finales en 2009 y 2010 y lo máximo anotador de la liga en 2006 y 2007. Bryant le dio el salto a la NBA directamente desde el Instituto Lowell en 1996, el año en el que fue seleccionado por los Hombres de Charlotte. Llevó a su equipo a 3 títulos consecutivos de la NBA. Después de perder la final en 2008, llevó a los Lakers a 2 campeonatos consecutivos en 2009 y 2010. El 18 de diciembre de 2017, sus camisetas con los números 8 y 24 fueron retiradas por los Lakers, siendo la primera vez en la historia de la NBA. Murió el 26 de enero del 2020 a la edad de 41 años en un accidente de helicóptero en la ciudad de California junto a 8 personas.
Diego de Silva Velázquez, bautizado en Sevilla el 6 de junio de 1598 en Madrid. El 6 de agosto de 1660, conocido como fue Diego Velázquez, un pintor borracho español considerado uno de los mayores exponentes de la pintura española y un maestro de la pintura universal, pasó sus primeros años en Sevilla, donde se desarrolló un estilo naturalista de tenebrisa. Eliminación bajo la influencia de Caravaggio y sus seguidores. A los 24 años se trasladó a Madrid, donde estaba designado al rey Felipe IV y 4 años después hizo un pintor de cámara la posición más importante entre los pintores de la corte. Se dedicó al resto de su vida a este trabajo. Su trabajo consistiría en pintando retratos del rey y su familia, así como otras pinturas destinado a decorar la realeza mansión. Su presencia en la corte le permitió estudiar la real colección de pinturas que, junto a las enseñanzas de su primer viaje a Italia, donde conoció tanto la pintura antigua como la que se hacía en su tiempo, fueron influencias determinantes para evolucionar a un estilo de gran luminosidad. Con pinceladas rápidas y sueltas, en su última década su estilo se volvió más esquemático. Este período comenzó con el retrato del Papa Inocencio X, pintando en su segundo viaje a Italia, y sus 2 últimas obras muestran la menina.
Looking for a way to get into the holiday spirit? Hancock is hosting their holiday nights. All are encouraged to come with activities for the whole family. It is free for children up to age 5, $10 for children 6 to 18, and then $20 for all other adults. Tickets are available for purchase on the Hancock Shaker Village website, along with the dates taking place. Now it's time for the long-awaited review on the hit series Grey's Anatomy, which is hosted by Mia and Dakota.
Hello everyone and welcome back to me and Dakota's TV review. Today we are talking about Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy is obviously about Meredith Grey. She's the one in the middle, the blonde. And it's all about her life. She's been there for 18 years at Grace Sloan Memorial Hospital. It's been through other names. She is a surgeon there, and what happens with the show is, since it's been going on for 18 years, there's a lot of deaths between patients, but also main characters. She's been through so many traumatic things, as she's seen people that she knows explode. She's been drowned. Like, she's been going through a lot.
But one thing that they do is they keep friendships going on. As you can see, you can't really tell in this photo, but she's good friends with majority of the people in that photo. One is like her father figure. Now, some twist happens where she actually finds out she has 2 long-lost sisters, Maggie Pierce, and the next one coming is Lexi Gray. She was kind of hesitant about them at first, because who wouldn't be? There's also a lot of love in the show. As you can see, this is Meredith Grey, but also Derek Shepherd, aka McDreamy. Their relationship is strong and also really loving. Now, these are just little clippets of different romances that have happened in the show. Whether they might not be together anymore, it still was a great romance. This is personally my favorite romance, is Levi and Nico, as they're a strong couple with their many issues. While there's also been those kind of romances, there have been dark twists and turns, as this is Addison Montgomery, and she was Derek's wife at first. These 2 people were actually in the start of the show, Izzy and Alex. They have a really complicated history. Christina and Owen, another great romance, as they started off basically her just helping him out and then him helping her out into a marriage. Now, while there's also a lot of love, there's also a lot of loss and kind of craziness. This is a patient that Izzy fell in love with, and also many tragic things happening, like the death of Lexi Gray in a plane crash.
And McSteamy.
Meredith lives with her sister and also her sister-in-law. Thank you.
Now it is finally time for the weekly lunch menu. Starting off on Monday, we start off the week with Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. Tuesday gets pretty fancy with chicken parm and whole grain pasta. Wednesday, there will be no lunch due to the half day. And Thursday is the holiday lunch, which contains roast turkey, mashed potatoes with gravy, carrots, a dinner roll, and pumpkin pie. We finish off the week on Friday with stuffed crust pizza. Last but not least, we have Veer's segment on the top 10s, and then Sam shares his perspective on video games. That's a wrap on our December 12th show. Thank you for tuning in and showing us continued support. Please send us any suggestions to our email, monument.tv2021@gmail.com. We hope you all have a good week, and we are looking forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same channel. This has been Samantha from MMTV, signing off. Good evening, everyone.